Good evening, everyone. We will begin the evening service of the Miroku Association headquarters, expressing our gratitude to God and Meishu-sama for the permission and protection granted us while participating today in God's divine plan of constructing a paradise on this earth. Let us pray together the Amatsu-Norito Prayer of Heaven, followed by the Miroku Prayer. Please stand. Takamaharani kamzumarimasu. Kamurogi kamuromi no mikoto mochite. Sumeri oya kamuizanagi no mikoto. Tsukushi no imuka no tachihana no Odo no ahagi harani misogi harai tamo utoki ni nari maseru harai dono o kami tachi moro moro no maga goto tsumi kegare o harai tamai kiyome tamai toma o sukoto no yoshi o amatsu-kami kunitsu-kami yaoyorozu no kami tachi tomo ni ame no fuchi goma no mimi furi tatete kikoshi mese to kashigomi mo maosu Miroku om nikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae Miroku om nikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae Oshie mi oyanushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae Oshie mi oyanushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Kannagara tamachi haemase. Kannagara tamachi haemase. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining evermore brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great will. Please be seated. We will now receive group Johrei. Johrei is now concluded. Let us now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. World peace. When the hearts of all people are in harmony with the heart of God, it will mark the beginning of a truly peaceful world. Our colors and features differ. However, in the eyes of God, we are one, all children of His great kingdom. When everyone prays together for peace and joy, all the world's misfortunes and disasters will disappear. Imagine, if you will, a great painter about to create another masterpiece. This is the greatest painter of all, and the creation is to be titled Earth. The picture he is going to paint will show the perfection with which he creates all of his works. He will express his beauty using the infinite variety of colors he himself has mixed. The most important lines are those he draws in the beginning, the outlines of continents and oceans, and then the boundaries between countries, so each can have its own individual color. The great painting is skillfully drawn and colored in delightfully differing pigments, each unlike any other, yet all blending into that completely harmonious perfection for which he is known. This is the great art of God, and it symbolizes his creation of the world. The variety of colors represents the individual purposes for which God created each country. Each one has a specific mission to accomplish, just as does each person. Ignorance of this truth has caused the terrible confusion and conflict with which the world still suffers. One country, considering its own color best, tries to repaint the rest of the world in that one color, something that can never be done successfully since it is not according to God's design. Someday, when every country learns that peace is the only way of life, this will become one world under one God, with all parts working together in their spiritual ways for the common good. When it becomes a reality, paradise on earth will have been completed, and the great painter's masterpiece will be perfect as he created it to be.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining our Miroku Association headquarters evening service. And thank you for joining us in prayers for world peace. This evening, I want to share with you the faith experience of Miguel Diaz. He's from Luanda, Angola. Miguel, who is now 20 years old and not a member yet, is a regular visitor of the Primeiro de Junho Johrei Center. The experience of faith to share with us is related to his negligence in following our guidelines and his lack of gratitude at times of purification. He was introduced to our church when he was 12 years old through his parents who were already members at the time. Miguel's father was the main person at the Johrei Center giving service as an MC and wanted Miguel to accompany him on this mission. But because of his young age, Miguel didn't understand its importance and was not interested in helping out. Miguel at one point assiduously gave service at the future sacred grounds of Kakwaku and also at the area called Kikolo. He did not accept as truth the divinity of Meishu-sama because his vision was based on materialistic thinking. But nonetheless, he tried to practice our principles. Years later, when Miguel was 16 years old, his father died due to an illness. Miguel's paternal uncles realized that the father's documents were with Miguel, persuaded him to hand them over. Because of conflicts ensued, he had no other choice but to hand over these said documents. Thereafter, because of financial difficulties, Miguel's family began to experience, they were forced to change their lifestyle to the point that his mother became known as the lady who takes her children to parties for them to be fed. Around that time, Miguel was dedicating himself as an assistant to the youth group. He felt sad and abandoned by others, thus weakening his frequency and only giving service from time to time. Purifications then accelerated, making him ask for his minister's guidance. Miguel was then instructed to regularly receive Johrei, to guide others, to intensify cleaning the Johrei Center, especially the restrooms, as well as to express gratitude for the purifications with donations. Miguel tried to comply with the guidance, but he gave excuses for not making the donations, citing his financial difficulties. At that time, Miguel was teaching at a college. The school's principal, for no apparent reason, rebelled against Miguel and he had to quit teaching. To make some money, Miguel became a taxi driver where he acquired unworthy behaviors. Being one of them, anyone who would say something nasty to him, he didn't and or that he wouldn't agree with, he would release his stress by even engaging in physical altercations. Desperate and without anything to eat, he knocked on doors to ask for food. He lost a lot of weight and thought about going to social media to cry it out in public because his father's pension funds were still pending due to intricacies of the law, which made it difficult for him to continue his studies. That's when Miguel remembered some books of the Meishu-sama's teachings left by his father. Upon reading them, Miguel came across one of the passages that says the following: "Whoever reads my teachings receives Johrei through the eyes." Miguel became inspired by what he read and began to feel grateful for certain things and even became motivated to once again give service. In this way, he took the firm decision to look for the Primeiro de Junho Johrei Center near where he lives. Even with his struggles in his daily life, Miguel is gaining strength to face his difficulties. Today, even without having a formal job yet, he feels more motivated to change his life, by which he materialized a special donation as an expression of his gratitude. 5 years later, his uncles showed up. They are willing to help to unblock his father's documentation, handing them over to a lawyer. One of these uncles, his father's brother, who had been away for a long time, visited Miguel and in the conversation asked him to create a small investment. Then, some time later, this uncle died, but before his passing, he asked Miguel to keep his two houses in addition to offering him a small plot of land, which Miguel thanked him but decided to refuse this inheritance. Due to previous situations of conflict he had already experienced with that side of his family. As for his dedication, Miguel no longer has any problems or doubts about the divinity of Meishu-sama. He now makes his tithing, also daily donations, has a home garden, belongs to a group that provides assistance to others, and he's also part of the team of NCs at the Johrei Center. He learned that when a purification manifests, one should know how to express gratitude and turn over all problems into the hands of God and Meishu-sama. Miguel's commitment is to become a member, to help in the salvation of as many people as possible. He's thankful to God, Meishu-sama, and his ancestors, especially his parents, for the permission of being introduced to this wonderful path of salvation. Thank you very much for attending this evening service. Have a blessed evening.
This brings to a conclusion our evening service. Thank you everyone for joining us. We wish you a very blessed evening.